If you're currently renting and wondering whether buying a house even makes sense for you, stick around. I have this conversation all the time, and I want to go over some of the most common reasons I hear as to why people choose to stay renters instead of becoming homeowners. Listen, I used to rent, so I get it. Renting feels safe and simple, right? You hand over your check every month, and boom, that bill is gone. You don't have to think about it until next month. You got a leaky faucet, that is not your problem. The landlord can deal with it. That is literally how renting is set up. That is why renting can feel like the safe and comfortable default because it is built that way. The thing is, most renters aren't choosing to rent because they don't want to buy a house. Oftentimes, they are feeling unsure, overwhelmed, or they're really misinformed. Here are some common roadblocks that I hear often. My mortgage payment will be way higher than my rent. I have too much debt. Buying is impossible. I don't know how to save for a down payment. I don't understand the buying process. Or the most common one that I hear is I want to wait until rates drop. If any of these sound familiar, you are not alone. Almost half of renters feel like buying is out of reach, and most don't even know where to start. The good news is you can start now, even if you're not buying this year. What a lot of people fail to see is that when you rent, you're literally paying for someone else's mortgage. Your rent check is going towards their investment, their equity, and their future. And that's not judgment, that's just the truth. But let's put some numbers to it. Let's say your rent is about $2,000 a month, which is pretty average here in Phoenix. Multiply that by 12 months, that's $24,000 in a year that's gone. You will never see that money again. Now, let's imagine this. You find a home where your monthly mortgage payment is about the same monthly cost, but this time you're building something for you, not covering someone else's bills. This is the same monthly habit, but very different long term outcome. I am a firm believer that we all go through various seasons in our lives. Buying isn't right for everyone right now. Sometimes renting truly makes more sense for your job, your lifestyle, or your flexibility. If renting is what makes sense right now, that is okay. The key is renting with intention and keeping a future home buying goal in mind. Now let's revisit the home buying roadblocks that I mentioned earlier. One, mortgage payments will be way higher than rent. I want you to remember this. Your lender's pre-approval is not your budget. Let's say you are pre-approved for 500,000 and that payment feels scary. That does not mean you have to shop at that price point. My job is to help you find a home that fits your comfort level, not the maximum number on paper. Two, I have too much debt. Buying is impossible. Having debt doesn't automatically mean you can't buy a home. Lenders care about your debt to income ratio, which basically just measures how much you earn versus how much you owe. Even if you have student loans, car payments, or credit cards, there's usually a way to make home ownership work. Sometimes it's about putting together a plan to pay down a bill, and sometimes it's about choosing the right loan program. Either way, debt isn't an automatic no. It's just something we factor into our plan. Three, I don't know how to save for a down payment. This one is huge, and I get why it feels overwhelming. But here are a few things that most renters don't realize. There are programs that allow as little as 3% down payment, not 20%. Arizona has local and state programs that help with down payment or closing costs. And like I said earlier, renting may be what makes sense right now as long as you are renting with intention. This means let's come up with a plan to get your savings up. I can also connect you with a lender that can give you a plan to get you there. It's all about preparing, planning, and starting early. The key is knowing your options. Number four, I don't understand the buying process. That's where I come in. You do not have to figure this out alone. I break the process down step by step in plain English. Honestly, I love when my clients come to me months or even a year before they're ready to buy. It gives us time to learn the buying process, plan, and remove the stress. The sooner you talk to an agent, the better your experience is going to be. Number five, I want to wait until rates drop. The honest truth is, waiting for rates to drop may sound smart, but it's kind of a gamble. None of us has a crystal ball. Rates might drop or they might not. And when they do drop, that usually means more buyers jump back into the market at the same time. Now, let me give you some real life perspective. Look at what happened in 2021 when rates were in the 2% range. There were so many buyers in the market, most of which found themselves in bidding wars. Now, let's say a house was listed at 500,000 during a market with such low interest rates, that seller most likely received multiple offers. In a market like that, it is also safe to say that none of those offers were below the list price. On the contrary, in order for the buyer to get their offer accepted, they most likely had to submit an offer way above list price. More buyers equal more competition. More competition often means higher prices, multiple offers, and way less negotiation powers. So while the rates might be lower, the house itself could cost you more, and you're competing against a lot more people. This is what lower rates do. The lower the rates, the more buyers that hit the market, which means the more you pay for that house. So remember, the most important thing to keep in mind is your monthly budget. Right now, buyers actually have more room to breathe. You can take your time, negotiate, ask for concessions, and sometimes even get help buying down your interest rates. And if rates drop later, you can always refinance. And guess what? While you waited for rates to drop to refinance, now you may also have a little equity. If this video hit home or made you go, huh, I didn't realize that, drop a comment with what's holding you back or what's confusing you. If you want a more in depth breakdown of what buying might look like for your budget, we should talk. Stop waiting to be magically ready with no plan in place. Let's look at the numbers together and see if buying a home in the next 6 months or a year could actually make sense for you. At the very least, you'll walk away knowing what your finances will qualify you for and what you need to do going forward. Real information, no guessing. I've helped people cut through the confusion and anxiety, and I love to do the same for you. Send me a message. Let's sit down and see what's possible.